Yo, what's up y'all, Lord here, welcome back to another Let's Play guide of Elden Ring itself. In this Let's Play guide of today, I'm gonna showcase you how you can become a very overpowered mage very early on to the game itself. In this Let's Play guide, I'm gonna showcase you where you can find the best weapons, the best armors, the best talismans, how you can approach yourself and leveling up for the very first time if you're playing this game for the very first time. What is the best approach you should take if you want to become a little bit overpowered, at the same time just enjoy this beautiful game that we all love and love to share. And so if you do like this content, do not forget to press the like, you comment down below and subscribe yourself to the channel. I'm your host, the Lord itself, also known as Memnon. I have to say, more than half of you boys out there who follow my channel, follow my contents, are not subscribed. I would say help a brother out by pressing the juicy like button, because it helps me grow as a content creator, lets me reach other gamers. Comments down below, let me hear your thoughts. It's always nice to hear your feedback, good or bad. It's all love, always with me, it's always one love. And of course, by subscribing yourself to the channel, you keep yourself posted to everything that's related to Elden Ring contents, and of course any other type of game that we stream, because we are a variety type of gamer as well. We stream a lot more games than Elden Ring itself. I would say sit back, relax, and enjoy this beautiful Let's Play guide of Elden Ring itself. And I'll forget, see you in a bit. One love, peace. If it comes to magic, there's only two classes you need to talk about: the astrologer and the prisoner itself. Both classes have a strong tendency towards intelligence and to a means towards magic itself. The astrologer comes to the upper hand because it has 60 points into intelligence that solidified it and bonified it as a strong magic based character. Once you create your character itself, I created Gandalf. You choose your starting gifts. The best starting gift for you to choose is Stoneward Key, because all the rest of the starting gift you will get an abundance over the overland gameplay itself. Once you proceed yourself making your character, you create your game and create your very first playthrough, and welcome every single one of you, of course, into the chapel of anticipation. This is the first starting point of the Elden Ring itself. This starting point is dedicated to you to learn the mechanics of the game, and welcome later how difficult this game actually is. From the get-go, I want you guys to learn to play with your offhand, your main hand, your melee weapon, and your offhand, your casting weapons. And at the same time, your shield as well on your offhand. That will give you the opportunity and the flexibility to use your melee weapons and your range weapon at the same time. This is an habit I want you guys to learn from the get-go, because they'll help you in overland gameplay. You can switch very fast between melee and magic, and it will give you a little upper hand in some form of combat playstyles and the combat mechanics of the game itself. It's something I want you guys to learn and to move forward into the game itself. Like I said before, it doesn't matter if you win this fight, yes or no, because later on into the game we'll come back in this zone and we'll defeat this boss again. The moment you finish the first tutorial of the game itself, you'll find yourself the Cave of Knowledge. That's right down there. It is a path for you beginning gamers to learn the mechanics of the game, the buttons of the game, and everything that needs to learn about counter, blocking, locking, everything that you need to know that will set fast you as a base mechanic to becoming the Elden Ring itself. Throughout the game itself, you will find these different earth trees as well. The small trees, every single one of them you find during your overland gameplay. Always approach them, because you will find different forms of seeds in it. The stoneward keys can be used on these stone forks, and inside of those caves and dungeons you will find different form of boss battles and loots you will find left and right. They can be very helpful in your overland experience and survivability if you're going to reach the hardest boss in the game itself. At this point, we're not going to use that stoneward key right now. We're going to use it later on, and much later on during our playthrough. The first goal for us is to activate 3-sided rays. The first one was on the mountainside just before. The second one is going to be right here on the Church of Elen, and the third one is going to be on the campsites. In this campsite you're going to find different form of loots. There's a redstone and ashes of war and 2 weapons. These weapons aren't really important for us in form of gameplay and in form of loots that we need to solidify our playthrough and our build in the beginning of the game, but it's still loots are quite important for us to find. Every single time you find a question mark in form of pillar in the map, there's an indication that you can find a map of the area itself. So always make sure you reach that point so you can activate the zone area, so you can have an overall tendency and feeling and oversight what the zone is all about. So of course we are going to take this map as well, so we can open up the game a little bit forward. As you can see, and that's the reason I wanted to learn to teach you how to play with it. Battle Mage playstyles. That means your weapon your melee weapon on your main hand and your casting weapon on your offhand. They give you more a form of flexibility and playstyle mechanics. Once again, I'll let you know as well, try to loot as much as possible all these corpses, to engage with them as much as possible, because they're going to drop you the form of armor sets and gear sets, and it will just give you a little bit more different styles for you to wear early on to the game itself. These aren't the best armors you have in the game, but it will give you a little bit more poise and more survivability if you have some form of counters. And just generally, it will give you a more different style. Once you clear the camp, you come to this side of Grace, and you're gonna find the very first and most important NPC into the game itself, Melanie itself. She's gonna give us our trusty worded steed towards itself, and will give her the capacity to level up our character. I recommend you, if you come here for the first time, to listen to her dialogue, get to know her much better. Once you have what you need, you can proceed towards the Stormy Gates. I'm gonna go more northwards. Watch yourself for the heavy giant is gonna fall down. We are gonna proceed moving forward up on the end of the path. We're gonna find ourselves in smaller Earthtree, side of Grace. Another NPC will provide us with another summoning, and we're gonna march a path forwards to reach our very first weapon for us to wield in the game itself. This isn't the weapon that we are looking for. It's not the best weapon. We are gonna solidify our playthrough on our character itself, but it's gonna help us in leveling up our character early on to the game itself. First of all, we're gonna activate the Side of Grace, argue all the enemies around us by reactivating the Side of Grace itself. Get ourselves this stonewood key. Now find ourselves on the ledge right there, and the purple identification. Get this stonewood key and deplete the dialogue of this beautiful lady right here. By doing so, she will give us different form of loots that will be quite interesting for us to moving forward into the game itself, and one of them, the jellyfish ash of some summoning spirits. When we have done all of that, we're gonna proceed more northeastwards towards the giant over there, because he has a very unique crimson tear guarding, the strength crimson tear. By applying that to the flask of wandering physics, which one we're gonna find very later on, not very soon, we can buff our character moving forwards. The flask of wandering physics are certain form of potions and alchemy, so we can apply towards our flask or give a little bit of extra boost in form of survivability and just overall DPS output we want to do. By arriving at this point, you're going to find yourself another NPC, that guy over there. If you deplete his dialogue, he'll give you some access to have different form of ashes of war you can apply into your weapon. Well, like I'm showcasing you, that's the path we are following, and there's a zone we need to go. We're going to need to go all the way through to this bandit camp over here, and here we're going to find ourselves a shield. Because we are a magic based character, we don't have the best shield, so we're going to make a little change in that. In this military camp, you're going to find in this chest here the beast crest shield, and of course we're going to find ourselves the exalted flesh to boost our strength moment we consume it. We follow the path upwards, and we're going to find ourselves a hidden cave here. This hidden cave, we are not going to engage with any enemy around here. We're just going to find a weapon that we need, as the Uchigatana. It's a very strong weapon that does bleed damage, and we're going to need that weapon to do a little cheese method to be able for us to level up a little bit faster and kill certain bosses early on to the game, until we find the weapons that we are actually looking for that's solidified as a mage itself. When we have the Uchigatana, we're gonna proceed moving out of the dungeon itself, and we're gonna try to reach Rani, because she is the very second NPC that we need to talk to if you're beginning to the game itself. As you can see right now, I don't have the necessary attributes of skill points to wield it properly, but we're gonna make a very quick change of it very fast. When you've done all of that, you go back to the Church of Ellen, and here you're gonna meet your beautiful queen, Rani itself. You're gonna deplete her dialogue, and she's gonna give you a summoning bell. The summoning bell will allow us to use finally our summonings for the very first time. One of the summonings she will provide for us is this trusty wolf steed. It's a very powerful and very unique ashes of war. It's very good if you want to distract your enemies and dealing heavy damage at the distance itself. And we're going to use this ashes of war during this playthrough as well, to showcase you how we can put this into use in a proper way. Now we're going to go first the talismans that we need. These talismans are going to help us buffing our stats even higher. So we're going to find a path southwards towards this position. There we're going to find a map and a delve area deep underground. The roadmap is going to take us, keep following more southwest, just keep following the road until we reach our destination. I'm going to showcase you, I'm showcasing you right now. One thing you need to remember through your overland gameplay, you're gonna find different form of scabs right there, and every single one of them have a unique form of ashes of war or weapons or smithing items you can find left and right. Also remember, if you are engaging into battle and combat in the night, certain form of enemies will spawn themselves, like the Night Cavalier you saw before on the bridge itself. Remember that if you want to farm certain form of weapons, certain form of gear sets, certain enemies come at certain nights. So now we're going to take our map again into the pillar that was showcased on the map. We are going forwards a little bit forward, try to get the loot as much as possible. Be aware of the bears here, as you can see they hit extremely strong, so be very careful. Our goal is to get the map and proceed to the well here and this zone here. But arriving here, we arrive in the Sofia River well. A very challenging area early on into the game itself, so I recommend you to be very careful. We are not going to engage with any combats here, we're just proceeding towards the zone to get what we're looking for, and that is the Marika's Skull Seal Talisman. It's a very potent, very strong talisman that only can be found later on close to endgame. But we're going to showcase to you where you can get it very early on as well, towards a different form of gates you can find in the game itself. Once again, when you arrive here, always activate your Site of Grace, so you always have a waypoint going back. If something happens, you might die. And now afterwards we are proceeding, moving forwards to the entire zone itself, and we are not going to engage anyone at all. Now we have the map of the zone. The position that we need to go right now is going to be right here. Here we're going to find a broken pillar that's fall on the ground in a wooden area. This zone is a very challenging zone because the enemies shoot a magical arrow around you that hit like a truck. So be very careful if you're approaching this area. Do not engage them openly because it was still very squishy and we're still very early on to the game itself. And we haven't leveled anything. So our goal is to do a hit and run system and try to pass all of them. Climb yourself to this pillar and activate these gates, and this is going to teleport us to Nokron, a very late area to the game itself. Once you're here, engage yourself on finding all the loot that you need from different form of golden runes, and you will find left and right, for example one here, downstairs, and the ravine itself. Once you're here, do avoid all the NPC over there. Do not engage with him because he hits like a truck. While arriving here, you're finally going to have the Marika's Soul Seal. This talisman increases our mind, intelligence, and everything that has to do with magic itself. We are going to proceed towards the northern part of the Sofia River and just keep following the path I'm showcasing right now. And here you're going to find a church. And this church you're going to find finally the Flask of Wandering Physics and another Crimson Tear. When you activate the third church of the Marika Sacred Grace, you take your Crimson Flask and of course and your Sacred Tears that increases your flask capacity and the potency of it. Do not forget to store your Flask of Wandering Physics in a proper way every single time you have a new one. And try to change your mixer a little bit every single time before every single engagement. We're gonna pass towards the broken path of the Church of Marika, go to the Beast of Sanctuary now, like I showcase you right now, or we'll keep following a path down towards all the way towards this Site of Grace. We'll be coming back to the Site of Grace a little bit later because we are going to farm the dragon and a bridge over there. Do not engage with a Knight Cavalier because the cheese method of the old day doesn't work anymore. We have our very first magic tower. We're gonna engage it going all the way up the lane's rise, and here we're gonna find ourselves our very first memory stone. This memory stone helps us increase our capacity in carrying different form of magic spells. Thanks to this, we have an additional slot of magic spells we can carry. Now we're gonna get new magic spells and new potent magic spells very early. Once you arrive to the backside of the bridge itself, by taking the stream up, you go all the way south across the big tree, take the magic stream up again, and you can find yourself a fourth path. This fourth here is quite engaging. Once again, there are challenging enemies here, so we are not going to engage them. We are looking for 2 loots and 2 loots only. The right side of the talisman of Dectus and the Radagon Soul Seal. The Radagon Soul Seal will increase our stats from vigor, strength and dexterity. Thanks to that, we will be able to wield the Uchigatana in more of a solid way and a proper way moving forward into the game itself. Thanks to that, we're going to be able to do some damage and we'll start doing some leveling up finally. In this zone you are going to die, and it's an unfortunate situation, but it's how it's going to be. So do not worry yourself, that's why I didn't engage with any form of farming methods. It will be too annoying if you lost too many souls, or runes better say. Once you're dead, doesn't matter, you come back to your secret spawning area. Do not forget to equip your Radagon Soul Seal. And thanks to that, you will see my stats has been changed significantly. Thanks to that, now I can wield my Uchigatana and my shield in a proper way now. Now we're gonna make sure that we don't need the Radagon Soul Seal any longer. So what we're going to do, we are going to make sure that we kill this dragon for the first time. We're gonna wander around south towards his pelvis area, make how much damage that we can do, and of course thanks to that we're gonna reach like 50,000 to 70,000 runes we're gonna get. We're gonna 5 dragons hearts we're gonna get, and we're gonna level up our character a little bit more efficiency, so we can have 80 points in dexterity and 22 points into intelligence. Now we're gonna wander all the way to the northern part of the swamp area, like I'm showcasing right now. You need to be south of Calais itself, and approximately that storm gate over there is your identification of where you need to go. And that is your spawning area. We're gonna follow all the way towards the gate itself. Towards the secondary Sacred Grace, right here. There's a spawning area, and a rune that we need is just on the opposite side of there. The reason I brought you in this part only is because the medicines does spawn himself of herself, better say, in this area. If you are passing towards the middle part of the swamp, you will come across her, and she's very deadly early on, and she will probably one shot you will kill you, so be very careful. So follow the path I showcase you right now towards the stone gates and all the way to the southern part of Calais and to the gate of Calais itself, to this until you reach this area like I showcase you right now. It's a much safer road for you to follow and for you to get all the gears that you need. Now we need a different form of a staff. As a mage we need a potent staff to be able to do some potency damage. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the meteor staff right here. But we're still not happy, we're gonna find ourselves different form of loots, and then we're gonna come to this spawning area and this runes here, the Calais runes. And here we're gonna find the meteoric ore blade, a very potent katana that do gravity damage. So be very careful in this Calais waypoint runes, because the enemies over here do a significant form of damage. So we're gonna do our best ninja styles, and we're gonna activate our summoning. We're gonna follow our way downwards, westwards of the points, and we're gonna find ourselves a caterpillar of there, and a ninja caterpillar. that does a ridiculous amount of damage. We are not going to engage to him because he will kill us, and we're going to find ourselves way down the catacombs itself to the entrance I showcase you right now. I do advise you not to do what I'm doing right now, to make sure you have your hounds activated a little bit earlier than I did right now. Because the hounds itself are going to distract all the enemies itself, so you can do additional damage as well. But thanks to I'm wielding the technique I showcased you by having my melee weapons on my main hand, and my shield and my magic weapon on my offhand, I can switch very fast and very easy. As you can see, that's why I wanted you guys to learn the mechanics and the playstyle very early on. So by engaging and dealing with all those enemies, we're gonna have ourselves a new loot, the meteoric orb. A very potent blade for you to use later on to the game itself. I'll say test it as much as you can, play with it until you have a different feeling. Now we're gonna have a secondary weapon as a mage. We're gonna solidify our playthrough as well. We're gonna find ourselves in a map area I showcased you just before. You're gonna go down this catacombs all the way down until you find yourself the boss area. By defeating the boss of this area, he's going to drop you the Moonveil katana. It's a very potent katana, very early accessible as well, because it doesn't need a lot of requirements for you able to wield it. Because you killed the dragon as well, the elder dragon, you already have the necessary requirements to wield it. That means 80 points into dexterity and 22 points into intelligence. And by having all of that, you'll be able to wield the Moonveil sword very, very early on. So now we're going to engage ourselves with the boss itself. Now we have the two most important weapons that we need moving forward early on to the game. So we need a little bit more stats for us to be able to wield this weapon properly. So we need another looting and farming area. So we're gonna go back to the foreign Great Bridge, and we're gonna try to kill another dragon. He will provide us 80,000 wounds. Thanks to that, we'll manage to equip our weapons much easier forward. So our goal is right here is to try to deal with this dragon as fast as possible. I recommend you to always make sure that you went to the Church of Elden, you buy yourself the crafting material, and so you can craft yourself different potions, different form of food for the horse itself, so you can have this battle a little bit more easier. While wielding Uchigatana, you get a lot of bleed damage, and this fight will go a little bit more easier than it's supposed to be. By killing him, we will get 80,000 runes, and by doing that, we can solidify our build a little bit early on itself. So now we have the Moonlight Veil. This is our weapon of choice of this game itself. Now we're going to go towards to finding a different form of, let's say, Crimson Tear we have in the game itself. This Crimson Tear is going to provide us a little bit more boost in our intelligence. So if we're doing that, we're going to need to follow the path I'm showcasing you right now. So now we're in the Lunar Lakes. The Lunar Lakes were a different form of loot we're going to find left and right. But the most important thing that we're looking for here is the Crimson Tear, the Crown Mask, the Twin Sage Crown Mask. We're going to find it at the Academy of Lunaria. We're going to find ourselves a very potent stuff as well in the Academy of Lunaria, and as well we're going to showcase the strength of our build very early on to the game itself. But Before we can reach all of that, we're gonna find a different form of shortcuts that are gonna help us speed up the process a little bit further. In this very starting area, after you get the map of the ruins area, the southern part of the Lake of Lucaria, find yourself in this position right here. You can activate this traveling points and this gate points. That will bring you straight forward towards the entrance of the Academy of Lucaria. Right now the gate is closed by a magic wall. We're gonna need to find ourselves a key that's guarded by a dragon. We're gonna find that a little bit later on. First of all, we're always gonna open up the entire zone by always going towards the different form of pillars you can showcase on the map itself. In this area, you're gonna find another flask of wandering physic tier, one of those golden seeds, right area, right there under the small earth tree. Get that and proceed yourself towards the mark I'm showcasing right now. You're gonna find yourself another set of grace and of course the map area. For doing so, you already have the southern part of the map activated and the middle part of the map. So now we have a more overall tendency and overall viewpoint what the beautiful map actually is. Now we're gonna go to another warping area of the zone that are gonna bring us to the opposite side, more northern part of the Lake of Lucaria. Once again, this is more of a shortcut and that will help us speed up the process and really only getting the loot where we need. This shortcut, this gates will bring us very close to the Carrion Manor. Now once you're proceeding it a little bit later on to the game itself for the first time, you're gonna find very unique NPCs over there and unique bosses and loots as well, but that's gonna be for the walkthroughs. Once you arrive here, don't forget to take yourself another map. You proceed yourself moving more northward east to past the King William's ruins, and you're gonna find yourself and the hidden wall here activated and de-augur yourself from all the enemies preceding you. You're gonna find yourself the big friendly giant over there, deplete his dialogue, and he's a blacksmith. With him you're gonna pursue different form of sombering, smithing stones very early on if you want to level up your character and your weapons. Now we're gonna go more southwards and we're gonna just go down the cliff itself, and you're gonna find yourself the Crimson Tier. It has been guarded by a secret hand in the underground itself, but you can see it by looking at the fingernails. Just follow the path I'm showcasing you right now, and then get yourself the flask of wandering physics tier. But once you have it, do not forget to apply it to your flask of wandering physics, and so we can have a little bit more boosts in the form of intelligence. Well, let us test actually what we have so far by defeating Margaret the Fell Omen on the Stone Gate Castle itself. You find yourself in the northern part of the Stone Gate. You keep following yourself north all the way to the castle, the very first offline gameplay boss, and then you have the game itself. It's a very challenging one, but by following the path I'm showcasing now, it should be engaging an easy fight for you. I will say good luck. But the reason we are challenging Margaret the Fell Omen because by defeating him, he gave us another talisman pouch. Now we're gonna need that for talisman pouch because we are going for a second talisman maybe later on into the game. We're gonna find in the Academy of Lucaria. This is the legendary Raya icon. So by defeating Margaret the Fell Omen, as you can see, this was quite an engaging fight, but not an impossible fight. But we're not completely happy about our build, so we're gonna go back to Lake of Lucaria, and exactly here on the map itself, and here we're gonna find ourselves a sleeping dragon. If you're looking for how I got the scalp armor sets, and I do proceed looking towards my channel itself, you're gonna find yourself a guide where you can find this armor set very early on to the game itself right now. I didn't want to showcase this, otherwise it's gonna be the stream video is gonna be way too long, and it's already longer than I expected it to be. Now when you have the keys, you have the dragon, the algorithm, you proceed yourself towards the gate side of the Academy of Lucaria. You get the map of the zone, and thanks to the key that we found on the dragon side, we can activate and enter this beautiful zone. Now our only thing is, you just keep following the path I'm showcasing right now. Once again, we are not going to engage any of these enemies at all. What we're going to do, we are going to try to do a hit and run technique as fast as possible and try to activate all the side of grace that we need, and because dying in this area is going to be a fundamental fact that's happening right now to me. So once we're dead, we activate the side of grace again. We just keep proceeding following the path I'm showcasing right now. Once again, I keep telling you, these enemies hit very hard, so do not engage with them. Drop yourself towards the elevator, to the first ledge off, and you're gonna find yourself another side of grace. Now you are closer to the academy school area. Proceed yourself towards the debate room, following the stairs up. Do not engage with them, and here we're gonna find yourself another boss. Here we're gonna test the force our summoning itself, or Ashes of Wolves summoning. Thanks to these beautiful babies, we're going to distract the boss as much as possible, and thanks to everything that we have so far in form of leveling, the boss becomes a quick matter for us to deal with. That is why you need to have so far in form of stats moving forward to the game. From everything that you have and you've seen so far, this you need to have in this stage of the game. Now we're gonna go to get the Twin Sage mask itself, because those masks gonna increase again our potency of our intelligence. So follow the path I'm gonna showcase you right now, because we're gonna find first of all the Crimson Mask, the singular version of it. You're gonna find yourself in this area right here. Be careful of all these annoying mages. Activate these shortcuts. If something happens, you can always come back. You don't need to go all through the balcony again. And you're gonna drop yourself right there. Here we're gonna find yourself a scalp. Take care of the scalp and find yourself the single version of the Glintstone Kernel Mask. As you can see, it increases our intelligence and the cost of course. Of stamina. Once again, if you want to look where the scale armor is, do check out my channel itself, and you're gonna find it very fast. We're gonna take to the shortcuts, and we're gonna proceed ourselves all the way to the end of the zone and find ourselves at the entrance of the cathedral itself, of the academy cathedral, you could say. I just keep following the path I'm showcasing right now. Chandelier, you're gonna find yourself a secondary academy key. That's quite important for they can help you. It's a quest line. Do all the enemies you have around here. You have approximately 3 of them. One of them is, as you can see right now. The second one is gonna be if you drop here to your left side, but we're not gonna go there yet. So we're gonna go outside and right, and then you're gonna find another skill, a little tougher one. Deal with him, and then you're gonna get yourself to the stage. Mask. The Twin Sage Con Mask increases our potency of our intelligence even higher, and so we have a little more potency in our magic spell and magic costume we have. Now we're gonna go for a very potent new staff very fast and very strong weapons for you to wield. You're gonna find yourself in the entrance of the hallway, past this enemy over there, quick walk of everything you have so far. Damage output is very strong, as you can see already, into the game itself. And now you have the Azure Glintstone Staff itself. Once again, this 20 stage Glintstone increases our potency of our intelligence very high and the cardiovascular stamina. Now, while we're not done yet, we are gonna go back to the debate parlor because now we need the radical soul seal, the radical icon talisman. We're gonna go outside of the academy and I'm gonna take the first rites itself. I'm not gonna speed run this because it's quite I'm not saying complicated, but it's something you can overlook very quickly. So by jumping over the ledge, you're gonna take the stairs all the way up. You're gonna find yourself another cracked window. And that cracked window itself is going to lead us towards the top side of the balcony of the debate parlor. And there you're going to find the chests. And that chest you're going to find the radical icon itself.
Are you the next mark? Or merely a pawn of fate? Bear the curse. I will remain by your side till this frail hope shatters. Take this with you. May it ease your journey. Go on and see the king.
Now you have the three very strong talisman. I recommend you to take the radical icon and the radical soul seal because those have really satisfied you as a mage yourself. Now we have everything we need. Level 47 of souls and wounds. Now we're gonna start challenging the bosses of this area itself. First one is to go with the Character Knights. They're very important, very difficult NPC you can find just an entrance of the zone boss itself. So I'm gonna showcase you how strong you actually are right now and how potent you are very early on to the game itself. At this point your build is good as solidified and moving forward into the game. And there you go guys, nice, quick and easy. We've done different form of bosses in this very short explanation of this let's play guide and how you can create yourself a very potent mage build very early on. We managed to kill Margaret and now we managed to defeat Vanilla as well, so things went very well. So by doing all of that you're gonna find yourself and have yourself a very potent mage build for you to enjoy this beautiful game early on. So now the only thing it takes from you is to explore the game, try to go every hook, nook and cranny, try to discover more about this game has to offer. You can also do that by subscribing yourself to the channel and following Mimnut Gaming, me as your host, the Raya Lucaria itself. You will understand and learn more how you can proceed towards the game and find even more unique stuff. Either way, just come and chill with me. I'm a live stream on my Twitch channel, and just say hi to me on Discord as well. But all of this beautiful stuff you can find on this description down below. Once again, I'm your host, Raya Lucaria itself. I hope you guys did enjoy yourself and it was helpful. There's an extended let's play guide of a mage build itself. I know it's a little bit longer than I always make my guides, but I found it very important